Hi, I'm Rouba Faddoul.
Hi, I'm Christie Green.
And I'm Katherine Gray.
Our research question is, how do teachers use technology to enhance student engagement within the classroom?
During the research stage, there were three main themes that we found, which were student engagement using technology, how pre-service teachers use technology in the classroom, and lastly, teacher proficiency using technology.
So what did we learn from our literature review?
Our literature review found conflicting evidence concerning the effectiveness of using technology in the classroom to enhance student engagement.
The focus of our literature review is how teachers use technology in the classroom, with a strong focus on pre-service teachers and their experiences. Our literature review found both positive and negative sources regarding the use of technology in the classroom. The research shows that although technology in the classroom can be beneficial, there are massive drawbacks when it comes to student disengagement.
However, according to Sulfa and Yaron, students believe technology, in particular mobile devices such as tablets, are a more engaging and effective educational tool. Similarly, Heflin suggested that using mobile technology in the classroom can have positive implications on students' engagement. With the use of technology in the classroom being so positive, why are not all teachers integrating technology into their lesson plans, with some even ignoring the valuable resource?
It can be argued that the lack of student engagement does not stem from the use of technology as a tool, but rather from the teacher's lack of skill or inability to wield said tool. This brings into focus teacher competency. Teachers today are responsible for educating digital natives, meaning traditional classroom methods are obsolete. Hoffman and Ramirez said it perfectly. Educators just need to change. In the teaching profession, it is standard for all reporting, behavior management, and attendance to be recorded using technology. In order to effectively integrate technology into one's teaching pedagogy, the teacher must have a comprehensive understanding of technology and how to use it in the everyday. A key factor that can be contributing to the lack of teacher proficiency is lack of resources and training.
Teachers are often hindered by external factors such as access to appropriate software and hardware, professional support, and teacher training.
We have established that teacher proficiency using technology is important and can affect student engagement negatively depending on one's skills. Various studies investigate teacher perspective regarding technology in the classroom. However, we will focus more specifically on pre-service and beginner teacher experiences.
There were two main distinctions in the literature in regards to how pre-service teachers use technology. How to use technology itself and the level of confidence using technology in the classroom.
Often, pre-service teachers lack the confidence to use technology in their lessons on the belief that they cannot be used in a creative pedagogical way.
A pre-service or beginner teacher will use theoretical knowledge obtained through their teaching degree to help design ICT lesson plans.
The lack of confidence integrating technology into lesson plans can be a reflection of the lack of guidance given in their tertiary education.
ICT is referenced in the Australian Teaching Standards 3 times. Regardless of the importance placed on ICT in the classroom, pre-service and beginner teachers are often ill-equipped to implement technology into their lessons.
From our literature review, we established that more research needed to be conducted into how pre-service teachers use technology in the classroom, as well as whether student engagement was improved through the use of technology.
From our literature review, we found that student engagement can be negatively impacted if a teacher is not proficient in using technology. Additionally, some sources state that technology encourages disengagement in students. Moreover, we found that tertiary institutions need to be more proactive and provide more explicit detail on how to implement technology into the classroom. These key themes will be examined in our data collection methods.
Based on the literature review, we decided that we needed to look at how technology was perceived by students, pre-service teachers, as well as whether tertiary studies prepared pre-service teachers for a technology-driven classroom. In order to do this, we used three data collection methods: interviews, surveys, and document analysis.
We analysed documents such as WSU unit handbooks as well as the English curriculum requirements to determine whether pre-service teachers are equipped to handle the ICT demands of teaching professions.
What we found in these documents was that graduate teachers are expected to implement technology into their teaching pedagogy and practice, but are given no explicit guidelines on how this can be achieved.
Our main concern was whether technology has the potential to enhance student engagement in the classroom. While literature was conflicted on whether technology does indeed enhance engagement, there were some sources that acknowledged the benefits.
If we operate under the assumption that technology does enhance engagement, pre-service teachers who do not gain the confidence or knowledge of how to integrate technology into lessons are at a disadvantage. As we established earlier, there are three teaching standards that directly refer to the use of ICT. It is a national requirement to introduce ICT in a lesson in some way. Of the 10 pre-service teachers who participated in the online survey, 8 stated they use technology most lessons.
By surveying pre-service teachers, we were able to see a general overview on how pre-service teachers feel about technology in the classroom. All teachers surveyed, regardless of their KLAs, use technology in their classroom. However, only 2 out of 10 were confident in their abilities. Their responses are shown below.
Our data collection can be viewed as our preliminary investigations, which will be expanded on in the next stage of our action research plan.
Collectively, our research provided an overview of student engagement and technology in the classroom. Our data collection could be considered limited due to the small data pool, with only 5 students interviewed and 10 pre-service teachers surveyed.
Due to the limitations of a survey, it is impossible to determine in what context they are using technology. However, as Ruggiero and Mong stated, technology does not have to be in the forefront of the class in order to affect how a lesson is implemented. In our survey, we asked pre-service teachers whether they believe technology enhances student engagement. The feedback was varied, with 6 out of 10 participants believing that technology is useful when used correctly. However, students are more likely to get distracted when using technology in the classroom.
Student engagement is closely linked with teacher proficiency. Our data shows that students are disengaging when their teachers lack creativity. This is represented in our interview data by students saying they are bored during the lesson.
Even the students themselves acknowledge that technology can be a distraction, with 40% of participants stating that technology negatively impacts their learning. Some of the limitations to the interview were the fact that we had a small data pool and the responses were limited.
Our group did not go out on prac this semester, which meant our interviewees were close acquaintances, which further added to the implications and limitations of this study.
We asked the pre-service teachers whether they feel confident using technology in their classrooms. This word cloud was generated using their responses. The most common feedback related to proficiency, with most participants stating they use technology, however, do not feel confident in their ability.
A few responses highlighted the need for further training. This further supports the notion that universities need to offer a unit that directly relates to the use of technology in the classroom.
In the literature review, accessibility to devices was considered an issue. In the survey, one question asked the pre-service teachers whether their school provided devices. In my experience, most schools share devices within their department, which can affect availability and could potentially ruin a technology-driven lesson.
Based on our current research, we propose that further study is needed to determine whether technology enhances student engagement. Our preliminary data collections rendered interesting results. However, in order to fully answer our research question, more data is required.
Initially, we focused heavily on pre-service teachers and their tertiary studies. However, we now realize it was too macro for the scope of this study. Going forward, our action research will be focused on school-based interventions, building on the information collected from our interviews survey data.
In order to verify the validity of our future action research, we should focus on a single school environment, specifically on the Year 9 cohort. This will ensure all students are in the same age range with access to the same curriculum and scope and sequence. In order to determine whether technology enhanced engagement, we would have to have a control group with no change to their lessons and a variable group that will have a strong implementation of technology throughout all lessons.
During the research stage, we came across a lot of literature that showed links between technology, student engagement, and academic success. Our new research question reflects this.
Ethical considerations will need to be addressed in moving forward with the research. In order to carry out this research, firstly we would need to gain permission from the school and principal. Afterwards, we would need to convince the teachers to participate in this research. And finally, permission from the students and their guardians will need to be obtained before anything can commence.
Our future action research will also address the correlation between student engagement and academic achievement, on the premise that students who are engaged with the lesson content are more likely to succeed.
The way we would collect data would be through formative assessments and examples of students' work, interviews with the teachers involved in both the control and variable groups, and well as student surveys, making this research mixed method. We believe that this action research will influence our future teaching practice. Technology will be used as a tool to help engage students in the material, not just for the sake of it.
Knowing that students are likely to get distracted, we would use laptops scarcely and instead incorporate technology into lessons in less visible ways to avoid disengagement.
Teacher proficiency was also a huge part of our research. Going forward, we will become proficient users before implementing technology into our lesson plans.
We believe that action research is extremely useful and will be easy to implement in our own classrooms. With the process being a cycle, it will allow us to reflect on our current knowledge and use it to inform our future practice.